Hey there and happy Monday. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. For me, I got a lot of stuff done. My garden's still going crazy, and so I was harvesting lots of like my green beans, still producing tomatoes. I let my daughter-in-law have first dibs on all that so she could process her favorite things with them before her school started. And so made cabbage soup. I don't know if you guys like cabbage, but I have a really good cabbage roll soup recipe, and that was so good to put together and just made the house feel or smell so good over the weekend when it was cooler too. So it was like perfect timing. Also over the weekend, if you can see my Alaska countdown, I did not earn the incentive trip yet. I have till the end of the month, and I know a couple orders are just sitting on my desk by my computer waiting for things like the everyday arches. They'll come in next week. It was supposed to be this week, now it's next week. Some people are waiting for beautiful motifs, and that will be next week also, but I am super close. So if you're thinking like, oh, maybe I don't need those things, I need to order this week, I'm hoping it happens because I'm that close. All right, can't think of anything else. Like, I'm repping my Vikings. That's why I'm here a little bit earlier today. My beloved Vikings that always disappoint by season end are debuting tonight, so that's why I'm a little bit early, so that I can get some more things done in my craft room, so I'm ready for that. But let me, kind of the same colors here, I've got some purple, blacks, golds and such, and I will be making this cute Halloween card for you right now. So let me get my camera flipped around here, and let's see, I'll start with it kind of here. I will be doing some coloring, so once, sometimes it just jumps instead of getting a little bit closer. But when I do my coloring, I'll probably get closer for you guys. So the spooky Halloween, I have done something with this before for you guys. The hardest part of today's card was deciding, do I want to do the cute cat or the adorable puppy? So maybe like next time, as soon as I get done with my video, I'm going to do something, plan something for this Thursday stamp camp using this, and so maybe they'll get the puppy. So it all just depends. I have lots of things kind of brewing. So that was part of like, let's make this card and see if this helps me focus on what's going to be the project for Thursday. And I've got some yummy chocolates. Reese's came out with the cute little pumpkins and ghosts and such. So my Thursday class is going to get those for treats to put in their treat bag that I'm going to make with this. So that'll be a different project to look forward to on a live down the road. All right, so spooky Halloween. Like I said, this cute, adorable set has nice sentiments, cute people on there, or animals, I should say. And I even just love like when they have the special little sparkly things like that too on there. That's always cute. And then the dies. This is where, like, I was struggling for my last class. I think it was my last project. And I was really struggling. I wanted to make a Halloween card because I know some of them over there love Halloween. So the dies in here can cut out some bats. I've shown you the fence before, the broom, the pumpkins, and then a little bat thing that scores. And then I forgot that as I was getting ready for this, that in this bunch too, there's this cute Halloween house. And so that kind of started me on a different path. And I'm so glad that I went on that different path because I really like how this card turned out, guys. Hi there, Deb and Joyce. Good to have you on here. So let me kind of just set this aside, and I will... Oh, I did use my bone folder. I wasn't sure I got this in hand because I thought maybe this needed to be scored. So this is kind of my color combination here. I've got basic black and, let's see, basic gray. Yep, I couldn't remember if I went with gray granite, but this is basic gray. And then some pumpkin pie, daffodil delight, basic black again, and then basic white and the spooky sweet designer series paper. And I'll talk about that a little bit, but not much more because I have before. So I think before I get started, I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping and get that ready to go. So I just need my Memento black ink because we're going to do some coloring with the blends. I actually don't need the die. I cut that out ahead of time, but I just kind of wanted to show you what the die looked like because it's so cute. For stamping, I'm going to take the cute kitten here in photopolymer. I'm going to ink cat up and go. Make sure I have enough on there. Yes. I have out my Stampin' Mat because I want to make sure, yes. Isn't that great how when you use your Stampin' Mat and it's photopolymer and you have like kind of solid images like her little treat bag and her hat, it just turns out so much like bolder. So that's always a good hint to use that. And since I have this, I think I'm just going to do my sentiment for the front as well. I have a 1 inch, just going to double check. Oh, actually it's just like less than 1 inch. I think it's like 7/8. 1 inch just was getting kind of thick, and 3/4 was just too small, too tricky for people at class to stamp on there. So I did about like 7/8 for this strip of basic white. All right, so now let's go with the die cutting here, and let's see. So you guys have to tell me if you're into Halloween or not. Like some people just don't do Halloween, and that's okay. Some people are like, well, Halloween's cute and all, but I'm not obsessed. And some people are like, oh my goodness, like I can't wait. I decorate and go more bananas over that than I do Christmas. So I'm always curious to hear what people have to say about Halloween. All right, so there she is. I don't know. She looks like a she cat. So cute, so cute. All right, and for the all tricks or no tricks, all treats, I'm just gonna quick do a little bit of a trim here. I could cut it with my scissor, but why not have it be even when possible? Okay. And then let's see. I think I'm actually gonna just kind of build my card before I do my coloring. So let's bring over the card base here, and then I cut 4 by 5 1/4 basic gray, and I did the embossing folder, the Soft Waves 3D. I could have done other things, like there's some distress that would make it look spooky, but I kind of like the spookiness of the waves. It kind of gave the night, like I kind of wanted a night scene that would look kind of cloudy or blustery, and I kind of liked the way this looked. And even my husband, he goes, oh, I do like that, I agree. So before I attach this to my card, I'm going to attach just this little piece here, and this is 4 inches by 1 inch, and it's from the Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. So just kind of adding one little piece to kind of just provide a base or something, I guess you would say, or a sidewalk for the little characters and such. Oh, it sounds like grandkids just got done with school and came in. They're with their dad, so I'm good. I can keep rolling. All right, so next I'm going to get some adhesive along the edges, and with this being a 3D embossing folder, those usually are a little bit more dramatic, so I want to get it really close to the edges so that it sticks well. Hello there, Patty. Good to see you on here. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so now you can kind of see where it does ground the card that way by having that on there. And then next, I have this circle that I pre-cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. So if you can see, maybe it has some stitching along the edges, and I don't have the dies out. I have them somewhere, but they're always out and about because I use my Stylish Shapes so much. I don't think it's the very largest circle, maybe the second largest circle, but hopefully if you have these dies and want to follow along and recreate what I'm doing, you'll be able to kind of look at everything else and see which size exactly that I'm using. So I'm going to put that down. That's going to be our base. And last night, okay, for those of you that know me, I am always nerding out about like northern lights, comets, things like that. Well, last night there was supposed to be a blood red moon, and so I checked about every 20 minutes to half an hour. I did not see it. I finally like gave up at about 11:30 p.m. So let me know if you you got to see it or not. So yeah, the moon can do fun things, especially in the fall. I feel like sometimes we get more of those vibrant colors. So I thought an orange moon would be fine. And then now for the back of this house, I'm just going to punch out those extra little windows here. Sometimes having those little extra black pieces in the windows can make it look kind of extra spooky, kind of like if you black out teeth or something. And with that, I'm just going to put some of my adhesive on the spots where the black is showing. Whoops, here, like so. So you can kind of see if I have my camera, you can kind of see where it's shiny. That's where I put my adhesive. And then I grabbed a couple strips of the Daffodil Delight. And this one I cut down. It's less than 1/4 of an inch, not quite 1/8. And then I just kind of set that where those windows are going to be, and it just covers like that whole strip going up. And then I can grab my scissor and just kind of snip that so that it hides behind there, like so. And then with the other piece here that is about 3/4 to an inch, I'm going to do that same thing. So I kind of can peek there and say, okay, that's all the further it needs to go up. I'm going to cut, just make sure this one's sneaking out a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of trim that down. There we go, like so. So now we've got that, and that is just so fun. And Margaret says, starting on Halloween cards, need to get ahead. Yes, actually, I should be decorating my house too. Not that I go too gaga about Halloween with that, but it is kind of fun. Let's see. Oh, that's funny, but it's not. So I just kind of snipped off the top of my house there. I might have to add that with a mini dimensional. Do you see that? Okay, this is why going live sometimes has its interesting aspects here. I didn't even realize. I thought, what is that black thing on there? Hi, Jean. Good to have you on here. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over right away and just put that on instead of waiting till everything's ready to put on. Just kind of building this as I go. And like I said, I do have the mini dimensionals sitting out for this card anyway. So I'm going to see if I can sneak this on. I am putting it straight on. I was going to kind of play around with maybe putting it at an angle to look spooky. Okay, changing my mind already because we have these black mini dimensionals. And so if it's black, then it won't, even if I have it showing through, because the mini dimensional, although small, still might be too big. So I'm going to kind of just tuck that. Okay, I'm going to see if I'm going to make more of a disaster. Can't just tuck it on through because the dimensional's larger. Okay, we're going to do that. Oh, actually, that's kind of nice because the dimensional's larger than the frame sticks to that. Okay, now we're good. Actually, now this is loose. Okay, might have to like show you for those just joining in what the card's supposed to look like before I totally wreck the house. Okay. All right, this is what we're aiming for. And now my house, I must have when I did that extra cut. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get rid of this dimensional because now it's making it too fluffy. And I'm just gonna put some tape on the yellow. There we go. All right. Okay, now it's looking like it should. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so let me keep designing this card, see how bad it's going to get. And I've got the cute little bat. And with that, people, especially when they were making the class, are like, where's this bat? Or they were looking for a stamp. And this cute, spooky, sweet 12 by 12 specialty designer paper, remember, has all these fun punch outs. So I just punched the bats out ahead of time. There is dies and there are stamps and such like that, but I thought, oh, how fun to use these. And so I'm just going to take a mini dimensional in the middle here and kind of just put that there like so. All right, so now I'm going to zoom in and we are going to do the fun coloring here. So let's see. Everybody that did the coloring, like I felt like I kind of did more coloring with the class in Fairmont last week than I normally do, but they really did well and their designs were so cute. So I'm going to start with light petal pink here. I'm going to see if I can zoom in without too much trouble. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to go over the cute little cat nose here and in the ears. And of course, if you go out of the lines, it's okay because the next color is going to be darker. So I have that, and then next I'm actually gonna go with the brown color, and it's one of those funky name colors, Stampin' Up! 600, because it's part of our neutrals line. And so this I'm just gonna go down and around the nose here that I pre-colored. I don't want to go over that nose because that is definitely that lighter color, so I'm gonna be careful there. And I think that's just like the perfect shade to go and match and blend with the peach pie. I was going to say pretty peach. Peach pie. Okay, so with the peach pie, now I'm just taking the darker first and going up and over the ears here, like so. And then I'm going to go over the paws that look like it's going pow. And let's see, those two. And then let me just kind of go around this that I did and catch the eyes and just kind of circle around the whole face of the cat. Makes it easy to just kind of fill in with the lighter peach pie here. Okay, so I've got that. Then I'm gonna follow through with the peach pie here. The lighter still. And then I'm going to follow through also with the tail. All right, I love my cats. They don't last long. Growing up, fun fact, for those of you that have been friends with me long enough know this, growing up I had about 30 cats. We lived on a farm and I had a cat club, and my siblings still kind of tease me about that cat club. Forever I was the president, and I would do like cat club bingos to try and earn money for their shots and different things that they needed. And so I think my siblings humored me into playing bingo, and it was like, we're talking cheap bingo because of course it's my siblings, and that time things probably weren't so expensive, so they could afford to humor me. All right, so this is Granny Apple Green that I'm using. That was the dark to kind of outline and go over some of the spots, and then I'm going to come back with the light Granny Apple Green, fill that in, and then she's got some tights going on here, so I'm just gonna go every other with the tights there and call that good. Now for the purple, I always think it's kind of fun to get a little bit of purple in my Halloween designs, so I used Highland Heather for today, and I really like the way it just blended with everything. It gives it a pop, and so I'm just gonna kind of highlight and go over that, go onto the tights, because that's gonna be the other color. That's the every other here, and then just gonna grab a little bit of the light next and fill in that tiny little spot, because it does make a difference on this. There's just enough to kind of show and shade. And like I said, everybody that did their cats, oops, there we go, get it in the camera, they just turned out so cute, and I was excited about that. All right, so let me kind of zoom out a little bit more. And now this is ready, and so I'm just gonna get that. I'm gonna grab one little mini dimensional so that the hat gets popped up well, and maybe squeeze a couple of these on here like so. And then the sentiment that we worked on a while ago, that is going to get popped up as well. Whoops. So let me just do that. Oh, my grandkids love mowing the lawn. They go on kicks. And so since our youngest went off to college, it's kind of nice that the grandkids can mow lawn and help out with that. Okay, so remember how this kind of looks like our sidewalk. So I'm going to put the cat on the sidewalk there, and then, oops, this looks a little shaggy. I'm just going to fix that edge. Okay, so then this is going to go up there like so. Okay, hoping it's not crooked. No, so we've got that. Okay, so now all of a sudden the scene comes together really fun. And then of course I have to add these, I love these Shimmer Star foam stickers. I'm running out of them, and I am so glad that I have a shipment coming in this week, because they're just so fun. And even those new Northern Lights, or the Aurora, I can't remember, Aurora lights, or it's the new Sweet collection. These kind of are fantastic to go with that as well. So I'm going to put a couple of the white stars here. I think what surprises people, oops, don't know which side's sticky here, is actually I kind of like to use my pokey tool. They are foam stickers, so when you press down on them, they are definitely like foam. And so it's kind of nice if you're mailing things, they're not going to be too bulky, because they're just going to kind of just shrink in size. They shrink back as you push on them, you know, and so that's kind of fun. So they come in different sizes, in white and black and purple, definitely shimmery. They kind of remind me, like if Halloween had peeps, it would be this. So that's kind of a fun way to describe those. And then for the inside, I'm just going to take from that same stamp set bundle, the Spooky Halloween. It just plainly says Happy Halloween. So I'm going to ink that up. Forgot to carry over my stamp mat again, so I was like, oh good, that turned out well. Yeah, and just gonna do that on my normal 4 by 5 1/4 for measurement here, and slide that in there like so. There you go. I hope you enjoy that as much as I did putting it together. It just kind of is fun, sweet, not too spooky, and it's always like fun to get some Halloween designs out there. And even I think that some of the things there could make like a fun shadow box if you're into decorating in that way for the holidays in your space too. Keep that in mind for that, because some of the images and the dies would really work well for different sized spacing for those. So thanks so much, Jean and Deb. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. So my goal tomorrow, if I can get enough designed and ready for Thursday Stamp Camp, is to come back with another live, because I've got lots of ideas to send your way, like I always say. So hoping that works in my schedule and yours. See you then. Bye-bye.